Welcome, everybody, to the Ring Generals podcast, recording especially on a Monday today. I can't wait. I'm Nick Nenad. Alongside me is Eric.
What's happening, guys?
And also, of course, the RKJ man.
Let's talk that talk, y'all.
Guys, we got a power-packed show today. UFC 225, what a freaking card that was.
CM Punk got knocked the F out.
He didn't get knocked the F out.
We'll talk about that.
He didn't get knocked the F out, but I was waiting to say that.
We'll talk about that a little bit later.
And then, of course, the Money in the Bank pay-per-view and also NXT TakeOver is this weekend. So we will predict those and analyze UFC 225.
I can't wait to ask you guys this question later on. Which card will be better, NXT or Money in the Bank?
Ooh, interesting question. That is a tease, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, yeah.
So
speaking of tease,
yes.
I can't wait to do this repeat offender today on Ryan Rants. I can't wait to get
Ryan
on.
Rants is good. And here's the thing. For you guys listening now, we just pissed off Ryan right before the show started. So he might be a little.
I'm pissed off for a lot of reasons.
Get ready. Get ready, guys.
Yes. So he might be a little mad, which is
on.
usually good. Because
Right.
then me and him fight, and then even you and Eric might fight too. It's great.
Sometimes.
Yeah, but so let's get into speaking of fighting.
Watch out for my kicks.
I know he's been practicing his kicks at the gym. He's been telling me he's been getting that Joe Rogan kick going.
Well,
it's good.
I'm looking at how he's like positioning his footwork, and it's hard, dude. It's hard, but I'm trying to make sure that I don't hurt myself. That's the first thing. You got to be safe.
Point.
You got to be safe whenever
Safety
you do
first, Ryan.
the
Right?
kicks.
Yeah, safety
Safety first.
all the time.
Yeah.
Always must be safe, Mr. Nick.
Yeah, exactly. So, nonetheless, speaking of fighting, UFC 225, what an amazing card this was.
Damn right, man.
Eric and I, we watched it together. Unfortunately, Ryan wasn't able to watch the entire pay-per-view, but we do have a new welterweight champion. Unfortunately, the middleweight fight ended up being not for the championship, but Robert Whittaker did retain, so essentially he's still
Due to
champion.
weights.
Question.
Due to weights,
Exactly.
I heard he was late, and that was the reason why he couldn't fight for the championship.
There was a little discrepancy. A lot of the announcers and even Dana White was confused at what happened because they weren't present when the whole Yoel Romero weight thing happened. Apparently, they gave him 2 hours and then they didn't, so he wasn't able to lose all the weight, and he only was overweight by 0.2 pounds.
There should be a weight.
It's ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Balance, like where
It should be within like 2 pounds. It should be like within 2 pounds.
2 pounds.
Right.
Yeah, I agree.
Like estimated amount, you know?
No, exactly. And they even were talking about what time they should weigh in at and stuff like that, because I guess they weigh in the morning or at 4 o'clock, and some people like to do it in the morning because they weight cut the night before. So nonetheless, that was a little crazy, but Robert Whittaker did win in one of the best fights
One
of the
hell
year.
of a fight, dude. Oh, my God. I mean, I looked at that fight. I actually thought that Yoel Romero was taking it to Robert. As soon as I saw Whittaker going down, I had a feeling that, okay, he should be done. But no, he took the punches. He took the kicks. Holy crap. Like, it just...
Yeah, Yoel
it was
Romero
wild, man.
was taking head kicks like it was nothing in this fight.
Good Lord.
And Robert Whittaker looked like a couple times he was asleep in the octagon.
They went at it, man.
And he
It
just
was
get
a
up
war.
like it was nothing. Oh,
Right.
it was one of the best. It was probably the best fight I've seen since Robbie Lawler and Carlos Condit.
And
That
I
was
think-
an amazing fight.
I think it was a lot better than their first bout between Romero
absolutely it
and
was.
Whittaker. And you and me, remember, we were talking about who won because it was really tough to call.
It was tough because, what happened was there was one round, I think it was the fourth round that was the one that was kind of iffy. We didn't know. But definitely the third and fifth round, absolutely Yoel won those rounds.
Right.
He knocked him down with a couple of really hard left hands. Man, that guy, when he gets...
I thought it was it. I thought it was it, man.
When he gets those power punches going, it's ridiculous. And then Whittaker kind of controlled the fight in the first two. So the fourth round was good, but I agree with it. I thought Whittaker won. Romero didn't do enough in the beginning of the fight to win.
Yeah, I mean, I was definitely in the back of... I was totally behind Romero, but, man, Whittaker, I think he won. He definitely won.
Yeah.
And... You know, you were right. You did say Whittaker on Saturday, right?
Yeah,
Before
no.
we did that show.
I just saw, yeah, exactly. I saw that I changed it up, actually, because I originally said Romero, but then I thought, you know what, it was really only an injury, the reason that he hadn't fought in a long time. So I thought it was going to be him too, but
Yeah.
no, that was it was a great fight, obviously, and even the Covington Dos Anjos fight was
It
interesting
exploded in the beginning.
Yeah, absolutely.
What about Holly Holm?
Holly Holm, yes, she put on a great performance too.
Another one.
Yeah, that was a pretty close one.
Yeah,
what I saw.
Almost everybody went through 3 to 5 rounds towards like the main event.
Yeah, it was like every fight besides that Blades
And
Overeem
Overeem,
fight
yeah.
when he just destroyed
He
him
just
at the end of the
elbowed
fight.
him and just completely cut him up.
Oh, busted him wide open.
hard
Ric
way.
Flair style.
Yeah.
Oh, man, he looked
Brock
terrible.
Lesnar style,
that's a
circa
good
Randy
point.
Orton
Yeah, Brock
2016 SummerSlam.
But other than that, I think all of the main card fights went the distance, including CM Punk and
CM
Mike Jackson,
yeah, that-
which I did
dude,
not think was going to happen.
I did tell
I
you
thought
that.
CM Punk wasn't gonna last a minute.
My
shouldn't have
heart,
lasted,
my heart
honestly.
was beating as soon as CM Punk was making his way to the octagon.
And they were behind him too. They
Oh.
were chanting CM Punk.
I know.
Dude, did he come out to Living Color?
Yeah, he did.
He came out
Dude,
to
the
Living
crowd
Color.
popped too when the music hit. The crowd popped when the music hit. He was going. The crowd was cheering for him. It was the loudest CM Punk chant I've heard in a while. Because obviously WWE fans kind of do it, not for him, but against WWE a lot when he's in the ring. This one was completely for him. It was very loud. We were at a loud bar too,
Yeah.
and we could hear it over everything. And
No.
it pumped us up. And then he started getting his ass kicked, and it was like, oh, okay, this is actually gonna happen.
Right.
Couple of things. Number one, were people rooting for CM Punk in the bar that you guys were at on Saturday?
I know there was a couple people. I think a lot of people didn't know who he was. It seemed like there was a
Well,
lot of
both of
UFC fans in there rather than WWE people. We did see one guy with a Rowdy Ronda Rousey shirt.
Well, yeah. Well, both
Yeah.
of them, they seem to. Both of them, nobody knew who people. They didn't even know who they were.
Yeah.
Mike Jackson
Especially
is
Mike
a mystery.
Jackson.
Yeah. Nobody knew who Mike Jackson was. I don't think people knew who
And he
CM
looked like
Punk
an
was.
idiot.
And Dana White, he said that he didn't like.
No, and
Mike's
he used the
performance.
phrase. He used a phrase we can't say on this
An effing
podcast.
idiot?
He's
Yeah, an
an
effing
effing
called him an
idiot.
effing idiot. So
I mean, we can blank it out, Nick.
well, no, it's fine. We did get the gist. Go listen to the Dana White press conference or that minute clip or whatever. But because Mike Jackson was an effing idiot in that fight, he didn't finish it. He tried to be the star. He got his 15 minutes of fame in the ring. And he's gone. And Dana White said he's never going to fight again. He said CM Punk probably shouldn't fight again. He didn't say
He shouldn't.
He didn't say that he has to retire. But
Right.
he did say, and I agree with him, CM Punk did look very good in that. And he's just
Yeah.
not a UFC fighter.
The
He's
man's knocking
not.
on the door, 40 years old. I mean, honestly, though, he looks in much better shape than he has in a very, very long time.
That's the thing, man.
Very long time.
The
I see a
WWE has
six-pack
completely,
there.
WWE
He had a gut when he left. Oh, my God.
overworked him. I mean, he even said in the podcast with Cole Cabana, he didn't look too good when he was out on SmackDown or Raw, and
Raw.
or whatever brand he was in. But he said that he felt green whenever he before he even went out to the ring. And CM Punk definitely, man, he said that he's feeling good. But nonetheless, this fight that he had with Mike Jackson, there are some things that he surprised me. Some of
The triangle choke, the fact that he was trying to go for the triangle choke about 20
that was
times.
a little ridiculous.
that was
I mean,
ridiculous. It was funny, but it
I was
was.
pretty annoyed over the fact he kept trying to go for that move, and Mike Jackson just kept blocking it.
He double
There was-
legged him,
There was
yeah.
only one time where he got him in the triangle choke and kind of took him down, and I was like, he might have a chance, but when Mike Jackson pulled up, I was like, he's got no chance in hell.
Yeah,
Right.
hey, here's the thing. CM Punk won the first round.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
On the
I just-
scorecard,
It
he won
was
the first
crazy.
round.
I mean,
Yeah, he
probably did. If you're going to give it, the fight wasn't a very good fight, so you're going to give it to the guy that wasn't that good. But Jackson dominated the next
Right.
two rounds. Punk is just not a UFC fighter.
He's
What
just not built for it.
Exactly. What he should have done is he should have built it up. And I know he's old and stuff, but Yoel Romero's 40 years old too, and he looked like $1 million.
Right.
So I
Can
think
he
he's
go
got.
to Bellator?
I know. I think his UFC. I think his fighting career is over. If he wants anything, he could be an announcer maybe for Bellator or the UFC. Probably Bellator, but I don't know. I think his best luck is becoming a professional wrestler again. Even though he
All
said he
in?
wasn't going to do
No, he.
Come on.
All In or whatever. No, dude, he's too beat up to be. When is All In?
All ends in September,
September.
bro. September
Okay, that's
1st.
enough time. I thought for some reason it was in July.
Plenty enough time to get your body rested and recuperated. And he doesn't have to be on the road all the time. All he's got to do is make an occasional appearance in
Yeah.
New Japan Pro Wrestling, Ring of Honor, get a a great amount of money, and then leave. Super easy. It's just like going to the UFC. You just don't get your head pounded in.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
it's
it's
legit.
just,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for Punk, nonetheless, I know I talked to you about this, Nick. I said, I'm going for Mike Jackson. I know he's going to win, but
Wait a minute.
at least
You were rooting for Mike
No,
Jackson?
look,
He
no.
picked Mike
no,
Jackson to
I picked
win.
Mike
Yeah.
Jackson, but I was rooting for CM Punk. I was rooting for the fact that I wanted him to stay for 3 rounds. I wanted him to keep his endurance up, at least last. I don't want him to get mauled by, just like what happened with Mickey Gall. I want him to at least stay in the fight for 3 rounds. Do something that wows us all,
Exactly, and it was impressive, and the heart of that guy
Yeah.
is amazing. It's
And-
hard for me to kind of talk trash on him today, just because it did.
I'm
if
proud
he-
of him. I'm
exactly.
proud of him.
If he would have got knocked out in the first round again, it would have been probably number one Ryan Rance material, and number
Yeah.
two we would have put a whole
Right.
segment in just trashing him and saying
You
should
gotta
quit.
You gotta pass.
Now, I just want to. I have to blame UFC for this situation too, because his first match should have not been against a competitor like Mickey Gall.
Absolutely. Mickey
His
Gall is
first-
great.
His first match should have been against an opponent similar to Mike Jackson, because when you put CM Punk in that situation in his first fight, and you're just trying to get those views for the card, the man's going to get mauled and embarrassed. So that puts more pressure on him going into a second fight. I think they should have did the opposite. First fight, you have an opponent who's just starting out. Second fight, if he wins it, you amp up the intensity a little bit more. I want CM Punk to be super successful in whatever he does, because it's just an F you to the WWE. And you know me, I love to say F you to the establishment. But but UFC's got
Anarchist.
to UFC's got to take some of this blame, because at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, you can't put CM Punk in these intense matches in his very first match when he's barely had any training. This time he had a little bit more training. That's why he made a little bit more of an impressive fight on Saturday night.
I think Punk, he got a lot of pressure from almost everybody. The UFC, even the fans who felt betrayed by CM Punk leaving the WWE and telling him that we own you. You can't be using the name CM Punk.
Yeah.
That's
We
BS.
bought
He
your
owns
house.
it.
We bought your merchandise.
He owns it.
And for
he
some
owns
reason,
his name.
I know, and for some reason, apparently the fans, they asked something back from CM Punk saying, we made you the superstar that you are. The problem is that the fans also they forgot, and the W forgot that this guy is a human being. That's
Yeah.
the problem.
No, I totally agree. But
know-
that's what happens when you're in the entertainment business. I
Yeah.
mean, you look at like a lot of these celebrities, and you look at stars, and what we've been talking about in the sports world, talking about LeBron and all this
They
stuff,
expect-
and we make these expectations for these guys and all this stuff. So
And
you
they
have
let us
to-
down
okay,
every
you
single
have to-
time.
you have to be able to do it. Like, for example, Ariana Grande is already engaged to Pete Davidson after like
I
3
heard about
weeks of
that.
going out. So that's kind of stupid,
She's the
right?
Hispanic Taylor Swift. She jumps from guy to guy to
I
guy.
just saw that today.
I didn't even know she was Hispanic. I thought her name
think
was
she's
fake.
Italian.
I thought she was
something
Italian,
like that.
Hispanic, whatever.
I just saw that
Don't
on
matter.
the Instagram.
Pete Davidson's white. That's all I know.
I just found out about that on
Okay.
the Big
She
Boys.
has no type. She dated Big Sean.
Right.
I mean,
They're all white. Oh no! What am I saying?
Big Sean is not
Big
white. Okay?
Big Sean is white. Okay. No, I'm just kidding.
Sure, right.
But nonetheless, no. But you get what I'm saying. So we have the that's why we talk about John Cena and Nikki Bella a lot, because you're in the limelight. We're going to talk crap when something weird happens, and we're going to give you credit when credit's due.
And lands on Ryan's rants.
Yeah, exactly.
Always.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, if we want to talk crap, we just give it to Ryan. Ryan will do it for us because he has so much.
Yeah.
He's so much anger built up before the show starts that we know
Pent
that,
up frustration and anger.
Yeah, so it's going to be entertaining. Where the hell were we? How did we get on this conversation?
Well,
know.
we were talking about
CM
how
Punk in his life.
Yeah.
And how,
We were
and
talking about
fans
how-
think
so
he
how's
owns
AJ?
them.
No, I'm just kidding.
We were talking about how CM Punk, how fans,
When are they
yeah.
when are they gonna have some kids? I heard he wants to have a kid.
We're
I've
talking.
heard-
Well,
I just
basically,
watched that John Cena Nikki Bella episode where they broke up. Whew, that's hard to watch. I'm gonna start
It's not
tearing
hard-
up.
It's not hard for watch for me. I was laughing the whole time. I was like, yeah.
Hey man, they're still seeing each other. Okay,
So we see who the nice guy on the podcast is.
they're still seeing each other.
Me.
Okay, they're still
But-
seeing each other. Doesn't matter.
It's interesting. It's interesting.
It's funny,
But-
interesting too.
Yeah. So CM Punk's a human being. We shouldn't
all
give him all this
television.
flack. We shouldn't give him all this flack. But
Shout outs to CM Punk for winning his trial, by the way. Y'all talk about that on Saturday?
we did. Yeah,
Yeah.
we did. Impressive.
We did.
Impressive. And all that stuff he talked about was ended up working out for him. He
Yeah.
wasn't just, he did lie about some, or not lie, but kind of exaggerate some stuff. But in the end, he won the argument, and that Dr. Amen, or whatever the hell his name was, should, I kind of feel ashamed that he did such a terrible job being a doctor for the WWE.
And apparently the WWE, well, allegedly the WWE was funding his lawsuit too. So that's why
I don't
CM
think
Punk
that's
was
happening.
so
I think that's
aggressive.
more of a rumor. I think that's more of a rumor.
Well,
but-
you got to back up your doctor no matter what. in
True,
order to
but he
protect
doesn't
your-
work for the company, though, does he?
Not anymore.
I think
don't
we were
think.
trying to
I don't
figure
think
this out.
so.
They got
Yeah,
rid of
anymore.
him. They got rid of him, I think, because of this whole controversy. Once he went out on the Colt Cabana podcast, it was just so much controversy that wrestlers allegedly didn't trust him, so they had to release him. They had
Yeah.
to let him go.
And
the
they were right.
fans-
They were
But-
right.
Yeah.
As always, the McMahon family and Triple H and Stephanie, they want to F you over some way, somehow, if they feel like you F them over. And they're going to get to you. So that's how, I guess, that they were trying to get to CM Punk, was trying to fund this guy's lawsuit, apparently. That's what CM Punk believed. So CM Punk was like, okay, look, I cannot talk to anybody in the WWE right now because this can affect the lawsuit. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about this more in Ryan Rants, because the person who I'm going to blame on Ryan Rants reacted terribly on social media.
Unprofessionally.
You acted like a bitch.
But wow, that's strong. That's strong. I didn't
Strong
think
words
bitch
from
was
the
going to be
RKJ
used.
man.
How many minutes are we into this? And bitch has already been used
right now in 15 minutes.
So 15 minutes. So
Beta
15
mail.
minutes.
Damn.
A beta mail.
15 minutes, and bitch has already been used. So
It's ridiculous.
When will Stay Black be used? Let's try to figure that out.
We're not using Stay Black
No,
today.
Stay Black
Not
will not
today.
be used.
Smoke
No.
Crack with Jeff Hardy?
That will
Smoke
not.
crack.
I don't think that will come up today.
I
He's
don't
injured.
want to use
He's
that
injured.
because I feel like people are going to be like, oh, I can smoke crack with Jeff Hardy.
You know what? If you're that
Hey,
dumb
Cameron.
and you believe us, then go ahead and smoke crack with Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
I don't
Right.
really care.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
So
He
we won't get
mixes
sued.
anything, man. That fool,
Allegedly a bitch.
that fool mixes everything up, man. I hate to say it.
Exactly. But nonetheless, so UFC 225, great card again. I want to talk about Colby Covington for a little bit.
The
Because
heel
The heel
of the
but,
UFC.
But he's even more of a heel than I thought.
Explain this dude.
He got into an argument with. I'll just say one thing, and you'll be able to have some thoughts on it. But first of all, his style in the ring. Before we talk about all the stuff he did after and all that stuff and him winning the title, in the ring, the guy's a bulldog. Just chased Rafael dos Anjos into the cage over and over. The guy didn't quit. He just runs at you. It's kind of like Lesnar at the beginning of a match
Yeah.
in wrestling. That's what he did over and over again. People didn't think he had the cardio. He did. I was impressed. Good for him. He won the
Explosive
title.
energy, man.
Yeah,
Definitely.
And Dos Anjos didn't have a good enough game plan, kept backing up. That never wins you a fight. And it's what happened. So good for Colby Covington. It's an impressive win. He's now probably going to face Tyron Woodley, since this was an interim welterweight battle, because Tyron Woodley has been out with an injury with the actual welterweight title. So they will eventually have a unification fight. But Eric, what was some other stuff you saw in that fight as well?
Well, I know that the fact that the guy had an explosive endurance and he definitely just went at it. Looks like he went for a knee in the beginning of the fight.
Yeah.
almost just
Good
like
Lord.
what Brock did to Heath Herring back in his second fight. I looked at that fight and I felt like Dos Anjos, he did his best to try to keep himself away from him, distance.
Yeah.
Try to distance himself away from him. Now the thing is that Covington, the guy, he does deliver good punches. He threw him down, but I felt like Dos Anjos, he was smart about it. He swept and then took him down as well.
Yeah, it was
And
pretty even. It was a
they
close
were even.
fight.
Yeah, both of those guys, they were evenly matched. I was backing up Dos Anjos no matter what. I felt like Dos Anjos, I think he might have had the advantage, I think, in the fourth round.
Trying to
Third or
remember.
fourth
It was pretty
round.
close. He definitely won 2 rounds.
Yeah.
I cannot remember.
The second round, it was all Covington. I think it was all Covington.
Yeah. No, I even think the first round was Covington too. Dos Anjos, I think, in the third and fourth round might have won those, and then the fifth round was a little bit even. But I thought Covington won the fight as well. It was close. I had put bets on Dos Anjos, so maybe if I had said during that he would win, but nonetheless, Covington wins. But Ryan, I want to get you back into this. So Colby Covington, after the fight, his
Sorry,
big
got a message from work.
Yeah, his big thing has been, I didn't know a lot about this guy. I hadn't done a lot of research as far as his background, like social media and stuff. But this guy, as far as I know, is the first Trump supporter champion that the UFC has. This guy, when in the post-fight interview,
Didn't he criticize Golden State Warriors?
well, he
not
criticized
going
Golden State Warriors, Philadelphia Eagles,
For not
LeBron
going-
James,
for not
all that,
going
all
to
that
the White
stuff.
House.
In his post-fight press conference with Joe Rogan, he number one called Tyrone Woodley a bitch, and number
That's funny.
Number two, he said that I'm going to do what all Americans should do, and I'm going to go to the White House and put this title on Donald Trump's desk.
Here's the issue. Nobody in the White House know who that guy is. They don't
I
know who
agree
that
too.
dude is.
I don't think they know who he is.
They
either.
don't know who he is. So he's just gonna get arrested by Secret Service.
Well,
thrown
no,
in some
I
secret
think
dungeon.
They actually, Dana White, who has supported Trump in the past and is friends with Donald Trump, said that he could make that happen
Yeah.
if Covington actually does want to go. I actually probably think it will happen.
And I think also Trump has attended some of the UFC events, or he's funded
maybe in the
some of it.
past.
Yeah, he's funded
obviously,
some of
I think recently he hasn't been, but I think anybody that's kind of willing to come to the White House, probably he'll let in. So this will probably happen. But nonetheless, this guy, other than all the...
They're going to have to run him a sheet literally the 15 minutes before. Here's this dude's highlights, okay? He's going to be like, who the hell is this dude?
No, exactly. It'd be kind of funny. Because the Open Company, and I didn't know a lot about him either. But other than that, this guy doesn't care what he says. He got in a fight with Michael Bisping over the air, said the F word on Fox a couple times on the post-fight show. Obviously, with Rogan, he called Tyron Woodley a bitch. He actually spoils movies on Twitter too.
Oh, this guy.
If you go on Twitter,
he's
just like Ryan, so Ryan should be able to relate.
No.
Well, according to your brother, you ruin movies all the time, so I don't want to hear you backtrack. I don't want to hear you backtrack.
BS. Don't believe that.
Hey, Nick,
Don't bring that up. That's
I
personal
think
conversations at the house.
I think I told you that when we were
don't lie, man.
when we were watching the fight, I felt like this guy, since he likes to call out anybody, and he's got a big mouth. I don't know. Maybe he could call out Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, we were making that joke.
He's going to be like, where's Brock Lesnar? Give me Brock Lesnar.
Well, dude, he drew the ire of John Jones. John Jones used to be one of his training partners, and John Jones kind of lit him up on Twitter, too.
Right.
But that's what he wants to do. He wants to play the bad guy, and he will generate buzz for the fight against Woodley. And if he ever gets to fight like a guy like Conor McGregor or anything.
He's being smart.
Yeah. Well, but he's
as
winning.
far as
He's
promotion
backing
and
up
also-
his trash talk, and I respect a guy that can do that, no matter what his politics are or all that other stuff. The fact that the guy got in the ring, said he was going to do this to Dos Anjos, talk crap on the entire Brazilian country before, and then goes in Chael Sonnen style, of course, and then goes in and actually beats the guy and backs the guy into a cage a couple times. That's impressive to me.
But I'm tired of Trump. I mean, I'm tired of this whole political thing getting involved. It's very frustrating that we have a president that incites people so much that you have to inject politics in the things that we watch to get away from politics, like sports. It's frustrating for me.
Yeah, nonetheless. I mean, Covington, if he can do whatever he wants with the title, it's not. He actually won. If he would have lost, it would have been a different thing and all that stuff.
How many followers does this guy on social media?
Enough.
Does he have more followers than the person I'm going to talk about on Ryan Rants?
Probably not, because people in WWE tend to
really support their people on social media.
Yeah, it's kind of a thing. UFC doesn't do that. But no, what I was gonna say earlier though was that on Twitter, if you scroll down a little, a couple on his Twitter page, you can see the entire plot of Infinity War if you want to, and see who dies and all that stuff.
What an idiot!
So I swear, yeah.
So he's a Trump supporter.
Well, he doesn't like.
He spoils movies. I mean, I want to punch this guy in the face.
He doesn't like.
Just watch out.
He doesn't like quote unquote nerds, and he doesn't think they can get laid. So that's his whole thing.
Like nerds as a
like the Enzo Amore nerd in his freaking music video.
Exactly.
We're wrestling nerds.
He gave CM Punk credit though, so he might be a wrestling fan. I don't know. I haven't seen anything as far as that, and I think he's kind of playing the role of that bad guy, so he might know what he's doing with that.
Right.
But he during the post-fight press conference too, he was drinking what looked like a water bottle with some tape around it that said "nerd tears" on it, and he kept going. He'd drink the sip and he'd go,
oh crap.
After every
This guy just sounds like a troll who just wants to bring attention to himself. He sounds like
Yeah,
he just
he
wants
is.
to be a
He
Conor
is.
McGregor.
But the difference is he won the title. So he actually he backed up what he said.
But nobody wants to support, nobody wants to get behind people in the media. UFC and these companies don't want to get behind people who are radically supporting Trump right now.
No, but
it is very controversial.
Here's the thing. What was I just going to say? Floyd Mayweather. Why do people want to see him get beat up? Because he's beat up women in the past and he talks all this crap and has all this money and is really.
But Floyd Mayweather is not political, though. He's an attraction in itself because
it's the
he's
same thing,
arrogant, he's cocky, but he can back it up at the same time. And
which is exactly what Covington did. It's exactly the same thing.
The difference is one guy is super political and superly overtly political to a guy who a lot of people see as a racist. The other guy is not. We barely know Floyd Mayweather's political situation. I'm pretty sure it's Democrat, but we barely know what it is because he really doesn't talk about it. All he does is show money trees. So I mean, like
that's true.
One guy's super cool in the way he goes about it. The other one just looks like a damn troll.
But that will draw people to watch the fight that do not like him.
Well, Mayweather's. I think he's humble. If you ask me, he's more humble.
Yeah, he's definitely got a humble side to him.
I almost said Tyron Woodley. I think Floyd Mayweather is fake humble. I think he just does that for some reason.
Like that
Who's
extravagant
fake humble again?
lifestyle.
Floyd Mayweather.
Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, I think he's
That's a lot of
humble.
fake humble athletes.
I mean, he's got a strip club. He created his own strip club. Not that there's anything bad about that necessarily, but it's an old art.
How many?
Okay.
How many does that guy have? How many homes does he have? Like
Who knows?
20, 30?
Who knows? How much money does he owe to the government?
That's the real question right
Like,
there. Yeah,
you know,
he's like
so-
Terrell Owens out here,
You know.
trying to get back in the NFL.
Money
You say
trees.
that child support. Nonetheless, so Colby Covington is the welterweight champion, whether you like it or
Well,
not.
yeah, whether we like it or not.
So that will be interesting because Tyron Woodley is kind of a soft-spoken dude. He doesn't go out there and he's not one of those guys kind of inciting people's feelings and all that stuff. So that's going to be a contrast, a lot like Desanya's. But nonetheless, we talked about it a little earlier. CM Punk, a lot of people have given him credit, right? But there are people, and specifically one, that kind of tore him apart on Twitter. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for Ryan Rant.
Turn
Take
my
it.
mic on.
Take
Turn
it.
my mic on.
Bring it on.
You know, I hate stupidity and I hate people who are fake. And I also hate people who go on social media and handle their emotions the wrong way, especially a 34-year-old beta male named Corey Graves.
Again?
Corey, I already talked to you earlier last month about your stupidity on social media and going on social media and hiding behind the confines of social media to get your point across. And you did learn your lesson from our last conversation, didn't you? Because immediately after CM Punk got beat, you got on Twitter and said this. Let me bring up the tweets right here. He said,
He's got
maybe
proof.
abandoning everybody who stood by your side, even when we weren't supposed to, only to have you turn your back on us wasn't the right move after all. No anger, only sadness. Move on to the next tweet. Seems the fans are disappointed. Maybe you guys should know that dude, quote unquote, helped my first son before I did because I was on tour and I trusted him. I had dinner with him the week after he quit. Next tweet. The first rule of punk rock is loyalty, and this guy betrayed it all. I still love you, friend, and I'm sorry you got lost. What the heck is this? All right, the next quote. Don't worry. Hey, at Vince McMahon, this has nothing to do with you. You either, Triple H. This isn't corporate. This is real life. Real life. That's BS. Next one. Remember that time I was forced to retire due to concussions? Yeah, me either, but you have Twitter, so you are expert at our job. Oh, really? Oh, he's clapping back at a fan in this tweet. Meanwhile, he's using Twitter as his way of defending himself because CM Punk dropped him as a friend. Now, let me get this straight. CM Punk, a man who had to leave the WWE because the WWE was literally pretty much about to kill this man, both physically and mentally and emotionally, had to leave the WWE and had to cut off contact allegedly with his friends because he thought the WWE was going to use that against him in trial, has to say to Corey Graves, hey man, I'm sorry, I can't be your friend right now, I'm dealing with this lawsuit situation. So instead of Corey Graves being a man about it and contacting CM Punk, or how about a smarter idea, contacting his wife, AJ Lee, and seeing if he can get in contact with him and reconnect, he decides to be a beta male, a bitch beta male, and decides to go on social media and use his Twitter fingers and turn them into trigger fingers, in quoting Drake. Because this idiot goes on social media and airs out all his frustration and all his concern and anger and all his emotions on social media in a public fashion just after a man just got beat in a UFC 225 fight that Corey Graves, honestly, I don't think would be able to do. Corey Graves, how many times do we have to go through this with you? You mentioned the Bullet Club on Monday Night Raw. You go to Saudi Arabia, take the WWE's money, then comes back, you're drinking a crappy beer, and then you have the audacity to say all that stuff on the confines of social media, and allegedly, you got in trouble with the WWE for that. And the third and final strike, you're talking crap on CM Punk immediately after he lost his big UFC 225 fight. Corey Graves, mister, are we raising bitches or are we raising men? Because I asked you that question last month, and maybe you didn't get that question again. You can hit me up on my social media. It's at RKJman, at the RKJman on Twitter. Slide in those DMs. Block me for all I care, man, because I'm about to block you in a moment as soon as I'm done with Ryan Rants. I'm sick and tired of this stuff. I've had situations happen where I've lost friends, whether it's because we got into an issue and we had to separate as a friendship, or it's just life. Things happen, Corey. People drift apart. You make new friends. You develop relationships. God knows I've been there. We've been there. And guys, I hope we stay friends forever. But if the situation ever happens where we break apart as friends or for this podcast, I'm not going to go on social media and be a bitch. That's just not the way I act. Yes, I know I'm using the B word a lot, but I can't hold it in when somebody's acting stupid. How many times have I said it? In our generation today, we have made the stupid decision to rely on social media for our emotions. We have made the stupid decision to rely on social media to compare ourselves. And I have been at the forefront of that mistake too. And I am working my damnness to try to make sure I recover from that mistake. But you know what? People like Corey Graves, a 34-year-old grown man with 2 kids, a beautiful wife at home, a man who needs to support his family, is worried about another man and what he's doing in his personal life and the fact that he got cut off? Come on, man. Do something smart with your life. Do something smart with that Twitter and use your influence on social media to actually make a difference and make a change. And don't complain and bitch and moan and murmur about the fact that CM Punk is no longer your friend on social media, because nobody cares about that. The man went into the octagon, one of the toughest places for any person, man or woman, to go into a fight, and he fought valiantly. And then you're coming at me and you're saying to me all of a sudden, oh shoot, Corey Graves, oh shoot, CM Punk, how dare you abandon me as a friend? And then you've got the audacity to look at Vince McMahon and Triple H and bring them in and say, oh, this has nothing to do with you. BS, Corey Graves. Come on, we know somebody may have whispered something in your ear, said, oh my goodness, he's not your friend anymore, isn't he, Corey? And may have triggered him. How much money did you get for that, Corey? Did you get any money for that? I know you did, probably. Didn't you? Yeah, because that stupid-ass comment probably means you got something on the side.
Cha-ching.
Come on, Corey Graves. Let's be smart. Are we men here? Are we men? Or are we beta male bitches? I'm the RKJ man, and I'm always shooting my shot for greatness.
Oh, man. Who let the fireworks off in this room?
Oh man.
Oh my goodness.
4th of July just came early, dude.
Was that more epic than Roman Reigns?
Oh, dude.
Did you mean it to be that? Because it definitely was.
Yeah.
That was good.
Oh.
I had to get it off.
He called him out. Follow him on Twitter.
I'm just sick of it. I'm sick of Corey Graves, man. I hate people who go on freaking social media and air out their differences.
Here's the thing, man.
Like, what the hell are you doing,
Here's
man?
the thing, and I want to ask you guys a question. Does Corey Graves or anybody out there who trolls on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, whatever, do they think about what they're about to say?
No, they don't.
Do they
No,
really?
that's why a lot of people delete their tweets after they say something
He's
stupid.
literally become the wrestling version of Roseanne, just with tattoos and more cooler. And just not being a racist Trump supporter.
So he's not really like Roseanne then, because you had to change everything.
Well,
up.
he's like Roseanne in the fact he makes stupid, idiotic tweets.
I'm still reeling. I don't even know what to say.
And he has crappy hair.
Oh, that's tough. I don't think his hair is
His
that
hair
bad.
sucks.
It's not that.
Tattoos
Coming
are
from
cool.
someone
If you had the opportunity to actually call matches, would you be able to call matches on SmackDown or Raw or NXT with Corey Graves?
I would do neither.
Neither.
I you know what? I'm getting over Corey Graves and his whole little heel persona, and then he switches back to a face when something big happens.
It confuses me.
It really confuses me, and it is part of the WWE PC bullcrap that they try to promote every single time we go and we watch a WWE event, and I'm sick of it. And for me personally, when you have somebody like Corey Graves who knows better, who is a grown man. I can see if it's our age, 24, 20, whatnot, young bucks, but this dude's 34. And he's got the audacity to bring up Kenny Omega, too, in his tweets, too. He brings up Kenny Omega in his tweets. Like, he's bringing up all these people like, dude, keep my name out of your mouth. Keep my name out of your timeline. Like, if it ain't got nothing to do with it, leave me out of it. If I ain't got nothing to do with it, leave me out of it. It has to be something going on, because it's just weird to me how Vince McMahon, allegedly has to be something. I have to be careful. Allegedly has to be something where somebody must have said something in his ear and gave him a little extra incentive and gave him a little extra fire. Hey, if CM Punk loses, say this. Because
On behalf of us.
Because I have to be honest with you. He says something bad about the WWE in Saudi Arabia. The WWE loses this case against CM Punk, allegedly, where they're funding the doctor. And then CM Punk loses, then Corey Graves jumps on social media. I mean,
It ain't a coincidence.
I mean, 2 + 2 = 4. Come on, guys. Like, let's look at it from an intelligent standpoint here, and let's just look at the fact that Corey Graves may have been enticed by the WWE. Okay, you effed up here. Here's how you can make it up to us.
That's one way to handle it.
It is. It is
Wow.
one way to handle it, but whew, it's tough. I like I said, I don't know what to say. I kind of want to just leave it at Ryan Rants right there. Just,
Yeah.
What? I was pretty upset,
good.
man.
It was good.
Like, I saw that, and I
See,
was just like, I
Eric,
could do it.
Every podcast, we need to piss him off before the podcast.
I was like, I
I'm gonna
don't.
show up late every time, and just like he's gonna be like all frustrated the whole time.
I'll just be like, why is this
be
man
great.
showing up late?
So,
Heated conversations.
Yes, nonetheless, I have a gripe on something too. So we're gonna transition to Nick's completely random topic of the day because
This is gonna be great.
because one of my favorite restaurants, not one of my favorite, but a very good restaurant, just had by far one of the stupidest name changes I think I've ever seen.
IHOP?
IHOP.
IHOB.
We're talking about IHOP. All right?
Is it IHOP and burger or
It's
international?
International House of
IHOB
Burgers.
now.
What the hell is that?
That's what I'm talking about.
You serve pancakes, bro.
It's terrible. So they're the International House of Burgers, formerly known as the International House of Pancakes. The look on Eric's face is absolutely priceless.
He doesn't even know what's going on right now. It doesn't even make sense.
He's like, his face looks like when Festus used to used to snap
Oh, yeah.
Festus out.
I'm trying to.
Luke
No, that
Gallo-
was Jamie.
Shout out to Luke Gallo.
that was Jamie.
no, it was
Gallo.
Festus.
Jesse and Festus.
It was.
but
Festus.
Jesse
Oh,
was
yeah,
snapping.
he used to do the
Okay,
snap.
And Festus would just go into
That was
a
the
monster.
face. He didn't move his
Right.
face for like 10 seconds. That was hilarious. But okay, so Eric, what are your thoughts on IHOB?
He was also fake Kane as well.
IHOB.
Well, as long as they don't change any of my menus, anything that I get for breakfast or dinner, then I'm cool. But the name change, it's gonna take a while for me to get used to.
I don't think I'm ever gonna get used to it, to be honest.
But
No, it's IHOP. Everybody's like, you want to go with IHOP.
Yeah.
You're out 3 o'clock in the morning. You've been drinking. Oh, let's go get some IHOP. Let's
Yeah.
go get some
Like,
pancakes.
I
let's not go get some International House of Burgers. Let's go get IHOP.
like I understand like the name change for Domino's Pizza, and they just changed it to just to Domino's. I always called it Domino's.
See,
so-
that's easy. That's an easy.
That's
change.
super easy.
Yeah,
I
so
was
that's
calling
easy.
it Domino's before they called it, before they made the name change.
Yeah, so well, they just wanted to go for just pasta and sandwiches. They just don't want to sell just pizza.
Yeah, smart move.
But IHOB, I don't know. I've yet to go there. I know there's one close to me, so
Wait a minute, have
I'm
you
gonna check
ever?
it.
You've been to an
I
IHOP?
have. I've been to IHOP.
Yeah, we've
I've
been to
been-
IHOP together.
But
Because
gonna
I was
say.
like, wait a minute, what?
but I don't look. I've been to IHOP plenty of times, but I want to know what's new. Just the name change, or just the or what is it?
yeah,
Well, see, I think they just changed the name today, which
So-
is why I have the opportunity. They had teased it like a week ago, but today they changed the name from International House of Pancakes to International House of Burgers. And I saw a commercial too. So
Well, as long as you keep my pancakes
me-
there, then we're cool.
Let me.
you know?
Yeah,
'cause
check
I'm
it
in-
out.
I'm in the
Ryan's
IHOP
checking it
I'm
out.
in the IHOP club. So I'm in the IHOP club.
you
so
really have an app on your phone?
I don't have an app. It's on my Gmail. I
This
can't
guy,
find
this
it.
guy's in every club for every restaurant that exists.
Yeah, you got to get those.
See, this
deals,
guy,
man.
the RKJ man, absolutely loves food.
Making
I don't
me
think I
hungry,
know
man.
anybody that loves food as much as the RKJ
IHOP
man.
Burgers. The big secret is finally out. That's right. We changed our name to International House of Burgers. What a stupid name. Why? We're introducing brand new line of ultimate steak burgers. As an International House of Burgers, we're proud to serve you all natural, 100 choice USDA because oh my God, if it's USDA, it's really good. Choice Black Angus beef steak burgers with the unlimited fries and a drink starting at just $6.99. It's a burgers lovers dream come true. Okay, here's the thing. When I go to that place, I don't think about a freaking burger. I think about a damn pancake. They were doing too much with their pancakes anyway. Like they were making like crepes like with cinnamon. Well, no, that was like cinnamon.
Is
they
it
were
better
like,
than Denny's?
oh, it's much better than Denny's. I hate Denny's food. And I got a Denny's across the street from where I live, and I hate that place.
Well, there's also that House of there's that House of Pancakes.
Original House of Pancakes.
Yes,
Dude, that's the
Original
place
House
now. That's the place.
Thank
That's where
you,
we have to go.
Jesus.
Yes,
Thank
Yeah.
you, Jesus.
That's a
Let's
good
go
place, man.
Thursday. Let's go on my birthday.
Shout out Elisa Viejo House Pancakes or whatever the hell.
There's
the
one
name.
right not too far away from where I live.
Dude, there's restaurants. There literally is every kind of restaurant near where you live.
And then
You live in
there's-
a prime.
And then Roscoe's Chicken
Angel
and Waffles.
Stadium.
Oh my god.
Hooters.
He's giving it away. He's giving it away. You hear this over here?
Yeah, you
He's
giving away my
giving-
location, Eric, so
Yeah,
somebody
dude.
come kick my ass?
Corey Graves knocking on your door.
Eric's gonna come and just super kick you right when you come through the door. Why'd they change the name? But nonetheless, so how bad is that, right? I just need to bring that up because it kind of happened today, so we got
Yeah.
recent news here. But
I thought it was like, I know it was going to be this week, but I didn't thought it would be today.
no, I know. But
Okay.
When I heard that,
Quick.
like I asked, because there's a guy at my job who actually came from IHOP. Well, what is it?
IHOB.
IHOP?
it was when he came from it was
It was
Hob.
IHOP
Yeah.
at the time. And he's now he's a kitchen manager and everything. Actually, he was a district kitchen manager, and he's come to be a kitchen manager.
This is
at
getting
a
way
store.
too inside.
And the dude was like,
restaurant.
I don't even get it. It doesn't make any sense to me. I was like, I have no clue. But I think these restaurants are losing their damn identity. Like they're trying to do too many things. Like we're trying to do everything here. We're trying to serve everybody. Like you can't serve everybody if you're a pancake place. Like you can't serve
agree.
everybody. Like, so why are we calling ourselves International House of Burgers when you've been known for 60 plus years as International House of Pancakes? Like, that's just confusing to people.
I know.
And the customer
kind of
clientele,
stupid.
Well,
they get confused easily.
well, here's the thing. Is we can talk crap about it, but we're still going to have our pancakes there. We're still going to have our food from IHOB. You know, it's just a name change that
Yeah.
threw
and
us off.
they just debuted like this corned
Hey, maybe
beef
these
hash.
yeah,
Oh my god!
Hey, maybe these burgers are going to be really good, and we'll just add
Yeah,
some.
so it's still going to grab people.
I'm still
That's
calling
for
it
sure.
IHOP. They can kiss my ass. I'm still doing that. I'm still
How
calling
much
it IHOP.
money is it gonna take for you to replace the P with the B on all your
I know.
restaurants? Like how much? Like
The branding behind this.
the
is
menu. That means the menu is gonna be more expensive because they
gonna
got to
change.
change the menu.
Are
and
there
the
any
prices
like
always go up
are there
when they
like
change
any
it.
arenas named like the IHOP Arena too? Because they're gonna have to change that logo too.
No.
It's a lot,
No, I don't
that's pretty
see.
expensive. I don't think that's true
I don't think
either.
I want. I can't think.
Thank
of one.
God.
Yeah, I know, really. But nonetheless, so that was Nick's completely random segment of the day. That got really random. Ryan started getting insight on his job, all that stuff. But yeah, IHOP is now IHOB. So for
Get
all
used to it.
Yeah, get used to it. Deal with it. All right, guys, we have a big pay per view. 2 pay per views this weekend. No UFC. Well, we do have a
Can't
UFC,
wait.
but it's not that important. So we're going to talk about WB.
Which
but
one? Takeover
money-
first. We talking?
Let's do Takeover. I don't know. I haven't looked into Takeover as much. 'cause
Let's
I've been
look it
kinda-
up. All I know is that Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa feud and storyline going into their next match. I don't know if there's a stipulation to the match or not yet. Nick will check it right
Let
now.
me check this
But
stuff.
it's fantastic. A few weeks ago, Tommaso Ciampa hit Johnny Gargano into his wife, and his wife just collapsed on the steel steps.
They've been having a heated feud, haven't they?
Yeah, Candice LeRae. And then also you've got Ricochet versus the Velveteen Dream, which is just, it's got great match written all over it.
I did see-
Yeah.
I
I
did
think
see-
Velveteen Dream has the potential to be a top star, like the top star in the WWE.
Could be. He's young.
He's
like-
very young, and
yeah.
John Cena called him out and said that he likes him the most, and he wants to have a match with him the most.
Well, first of all, before we delve into NXT Takeover, I just want to give a shout out to the guys from Power Flow who were part of NXT Download Festival.
Mm-hmm.
They were just there, I believe, on Saturday and Sunday. Yeah, they were there, and the guys from Power Flow, Sendog and Christian Oldwebbers from the band, and they were just hanging out with Aleister Black, and they seem to be having a good time. Not only them, but also other metal bands who were part of NXT. So I wish they can do more events over there at Download Festival with NXT.
Aleister Black's a cool dude, man.
Oh, he is, man.
He is. Yeah. No, we know Eric. He's one of your favorite wrestlers too. So that's
He's
that
the
is
black
pretty
metal
cool.
superstar of NXT
you
or
go.
pro
Very-
wrestling in general.
Very dark,
Hell yeah.
Very dark.
extremely
But
dark.
it's a good character. It's a good,
Good character. Good
But
kicks,
so,
too.
Exactly. Like the RKJ man mentioned, the matches. I'll just go over the matches here for the NXT card real quick. I don't know. I don't think these are in order, but I'll just go over them in what order I think they should be in. So first off, you have Shayna Baszler versus Nikki Cross for the NXT Women's Championship. Interesting because Nikki Cross has kind of been. She was involved with the what's that one tag?
Dakota Kai, right?
No, it says Nikki Cross, man. That's why I said Nikki Cross and not Dakota
No,
Kai.
I was just thinking she was involved in like it was a.
I'm saying what was the tag? What was
That would have been wrong.
what was the tag? Yeah, you never know. What was the group? What was the group she's in? It's the one on SmackDown right now. And just losing Eric Young, all them.
It's called Sanity, and they haven't even debuted yet. I think they dropped them.
Do you think they dropped him?
They haven't even.
They did the old
yet.
Shelton Benjamin on him.
Ain't no stopping me
now.
now. Nope.
But so Nikki Cross versus Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler kind of with that MMA type of wrestler versus kind of the craziness with Nikki Cross. That's an interesting fight. The Undisputed Era, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong versus Oni Larson and Danny Burch for the Tag Team Championships. Always nice to see the Undisputed Era get in the ring.
Definitely.
Adam Cole is really small.
Well,
Adam Cole, baby.
Do you think Adam Cole's gonna work out on the main event roster?
well, that's what I thought about when
He's
Daniel
not on
Bryan.
his card though.
I'm just
I'm
just saying.
Well, look,
is
most of the
Adam Cole
guys,
gonna be?
most of the guys from Ring of Honor that switched on over to WWE, they looked like dwarfs. Dwarfs, to be honest. When I looked at Daniel Bryan when he showed up, he looked like a dwarf. But for Adam
He's
Cole,
buffed up though.
yeah, over the years now. But for Adam Cole,
Kind of reminds me of our running back, Christian McCaffrey.
What you're saying is these guys, according to Kevin Nash, look like vanilla midgets when they come up. Is that what you're saying?
well,
I see that pisses me off.
Doesn't matter. That's what he said.
well, he can
I
say,
mean, but, like-
he can say that all he wants, but I can tell you that most of those guys can do 60-minute matches more than freaking Kevin Nash.
absolutely, that's
Yeah.
true. Absolutely, that's
they can,
true.
They can enjoy
Kevin
more
Nash will
than,
blow up after 5 minutes.
He blow out
He
both his
can-
knees. He can't even take a flight to Raw 25. How's he
I
get
mean,
back in the ring?
Kevin can critique whatever he wants, but he can talk about all he wants about how he put WCW on the map. But most of the guys who he criticized, yeah, try lacing up their boots.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm just saying what you're referring to is the fact that these guys are kind of small, and
No,
that
it's just-
yeah.
No, I mean, it's just what I'm saying is that most of them who come from Ring of Honor, yeah, they're not as like 6'7" or 6 or 7 feet tall, but they definitely have major success later on. And these guys are doing the click sign, RK Jamin and Nick Nenad.
Exactly.
Dude, I've been watching so much of freaking NWO stuff. Like, I've even watched freaking Scott Hall coming out to TNA.
I was watching that today too for some stupid reason.
Surfing, like,
He's all. I was saying, he was all fat, and he was. Although that was like one of the darkest times in his life.
Well, that was when he was
It's
really
still
in a
great. It's
dark
still great
place,
how
you
he
know?
comes
Yeah.
out to that theme song.
Yeah.
What's that theme song called, Eric? Marvelous Me?
Marvelous Me
I
by
freaking
Dale
loved it.
Oliver.
I was listening to that on the way here, man. That was getting me pumped up. And then I was watching the thing where he came out and he was facing AJ Styles and he was surfing.
Wait,
It's pretty
did you
dope.
actually drive over here today?
No.
See, you didn't listen to it when
Some
on the way
inside
over here.
stuff right there, man.
Flyer, no. But okay, so
Did I say
back
drive?
back to the pit. You just said when I was heading over here. I just assumed.
Heading over here.
Oh, you do have your headphones right there. Never mind. You
Yeah.
could have been listening. But okay, so back to pay per view. Aleister Black versus Lars Sullivan. This is kind of big man versus big man.
Oh,
in a way.
yeah.
I consider Aleister Black a huge dude. That's an interesting fight because you don't see a lot of those type of fights in NXT where you kind of have a big man to big man for the title.
I'm going to say something controversial here.
Well, hold on. Let me just get to the thing. Obviously, Ricochet versus Velveteen Dream and Tommaso Ciampa versus Johnny Gargano
In a street fight.
in a street fight.
Things are getting serious, man.
Yes. So
When you have these
Ryan,
gimmick
what do you want to
matches.
say? What do you want to say about
I
this?
don't think that I think that Aleister Black versus Lars Sullivan could be perhaps maybe the dud match of the night.
I think it could too.
It could steal the show.
I don't think it's going to be good. I think you've got two great matches that are even for a championship. You got Tommaso Ciampa versus Gianni Gargano, which is extremely personal. And I love those extremely personal, we used to be friends, but now we hate each other. Best friends make bitter enemies type things, feuds, excuse me. And then you've got Ricochet, Prince Puma, as we know him, versus the Velveteen Dream. It's just going to be...
Velveteen Dream.
Did you see how Mauro Ranallo's voice just went up when Ricochet, Velveteen said, whatever you can do, the Dream could do better?
I know,
And
yeah.
Ricochet goes and flips over the thing, and he goes right up to Velveteen's face, and he said, okay, prove it.
like
and
freaking-
like he's looking at him like he's looking like he just saw a ghost.
He jumped like freaking Spider-Man. Holy crap, man. How can
know.
you do that? Yeah.
I know,
Do
but
you think? Okay, so here's the thing.
well,
I
okay.
have.
Since let's start predicting. So let's do the Aleister
I gotta
Black
ask.
match.
I gotta ask two questions too. But I'll let you guys go.
Oh my gosh. Just ask your 2 questions.
Okay, first question.
Holding up the podcast.
Okay.
Whatever.
Go for it.
You know what? This is a Ring Generals, man. We're always on topic.
Go
All
for
right, the first question I got for y'all is this, okay? How many people, again, and I asked this for the last takeover for WrestleMania, how many people are actually from the Performance Center?
Let's see.
Velveteen.
Velveteen for sure.
Velveteen.
What about Lars?
Shayna Baszler for sure.
I think Lars Sullivan. I think he is from the
I'm
Performance
gonna
Center.
guess Lars Sullivan.
And nobody else. There's only
What about Nikki Cross?
No, I think Nikki Cross.
How about
did
Johnny Gargano?
Independence.
No, definitely not Johnny
That's
Gargano.
the definition of independent wrestler
Oh, yeah,
right
sure,
there.
yeah.
So it's definitely Velveteen Dream, Lars Sullivan, and Shayna Baszler. I think those are the 3. It's not bad, but wasn't the WrestleMania card? There was a lot of them, right? There was
Yeah,
a lot of Performance Center people. I kind of forget who was in those matches, but
You know, I think my biggest thing with the NXT and the Performance Center is where are we headed with this situation, because I want to see more people on these cards from the Performance Center. I want to see more people like Charlotte. I want to see more people like the Velveteen Dream.
why do you want to see more of those people though? What's the difference?
Because the problem is, eventually when the WWE runs out of people to poach, they're going to look to within their own company and who they built from within to make sure that they have somebody who can carry the brand.
Well, the
across.
independents, they're always going to be building up wrestlers, that's for sure. I mean, guys like Dalton Castle, Marty Scarelli, and all those guys, there's always going to be somebody who's going to main event Ring of Honor pay-per-views, TNA pay-per-views, or whatever, and WWE's going to look at that, and they're going to poach them.
I think it's different now because the independent wrestling is it's pretty popular right now.
And it's
And-
almost becoming like the territories. It's
little
our
bit.
it's our version
Well,
of the territories
is, yeah,
now
it
because we
is.
don't have it anymore.
No, exactly. So I think back in the day when you had guys like The Rock and Stone Cold and people like that, there wasn't as many options to go and there wasn't as many popular options. So I think that's why it's easier back then for WWE to do that. I think it's just harder for them. That's why I don't that's why I asked you, because I just think it's harder for them to even get these kind of guys.
Well, also, here's the thing. Fans also demand some of these wrestlers from the independents to go to the big stage known as the WWE.
Yeah.
They always say, hey, when are you going to go to the WWE? Hey, you should go to the WWE. You should definitely do something with those guys. I always see that all the time. Whenever I see like a good match happening in New Japan, Ring of Honor, TNA, wherever, they always ask guys like Adam Cole, guys like
Kenny Omega.
Kenny Omega.
He's
That's-
the number one person
He
everybody
is
in
a
the world is
big-
talking about.
He's the best example right there.
And he will eventually come to the WWE.
He will. I think right now he's just not giving his full trust to the WWE guys.
He's just trying to play hard to get. He's trying to get
He
his
is.
contract to have more money in it. That's all he's trying to do. He's playing hard to get. But once the WWE comes up with that deal that's just literally, no
You
pun
can't
intended,
refuse.
too sweet, he's going to have to take the contract. He's going to have to take the money. I'm sorry. It happens to all of them.
Yeah.
Except Shinsuke Nakamura. They just signed that man for pennies. I don't know why. Shinsuke must have been like, I just want to prove myself.
Maybe he couldn't speak English, so they couldn't.
That's so racist.
No, it's his gimmick.
That's racist.
It's his gimmick. It's his gimmick. It's what he's been saying right
All right.
now. Ryan didn't get the joke.
All the Asian people are going to come after you on Twitter.
Go ahead, come at me. Like you called out Corey Graves, I'm calling out all Asian people. If you think that was racist, come in the studio, KSBR studio, Saddleback College.
Oh,
my-
shoot.
wow,
Oh, my
crap.
God. Give away your location.
All Asian people. But this was so stupid. Nonetheless, at least Japanese people, maybe.
Watch what you're saying, man.
yeah.
Are you Asian, Eric? Did I not know?
No,
No, nonetheless. Okay, so let's get to the predicting. Aleister Black versus Lars Sullivan. What do we think happens in this one?
Aleister Black
Aleister
wins.
Black.
I think so too. I don't
That's
think Lars
easy
Sullivan
one.
has a chance. Let's go Shayna Baszler versus Nikki Cross, Women's Championship.
Shayna.
I'm going to go Nikki Cross. I think
Okay.
she upsets
By an
her.
upset victory? Okay,
Yeah.
I understand that.
Yeah, some craziness will happen, and I think she'll win that
They
one.
had some type of weird title change where at one point Nikki Cross had the championship. So I guess Shayna Baszler got it back again.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not.
In a
so
rematch.
Even more of a reason that it could possibly could happen. And okay, Undisputed Era versus Oni Larson and Danny Burch.
Undisputed Era.
Undisputed
It
Era.
has to be Undisputed Era, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're two over.
They're hot.
Ricochet, that could have meant something different, Eric, what you just said right there. But
What?
no, he just said they're
No,
hot.
I mean like they're like red hot as far as like popularity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I think some women would connotate that to something else too. So
Nah.
I mean, feel free to comment on
Absolutely.
our SoundCloud.
If you think
YouTube.
Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong are hot, please comment on the SoundCloud page
Or
the
YouTube.
YouTube page. Okay, that was really dumb again.
If you think any of us are hot, please slide in our DMs.
Well, you don't have to do it for me because we all know I'm hot, so I don't need the
Okay.
extra. I don't need the extra up for it. Ricochet versus Velveteen Dream.
oh God.
I want to say maybe
is really
Velveteen Dream might pull an upset victory, so I'm gonna go with Velveteen Dream.
I'm gonna go.
I love Ricochet
This is
though.
tough. I'm gonna
I
go.
love them both, bro.
I'm gonna go Ricochet just because I think they'll try to vault him faster in the company. I think they have time for Velveteen Dream to lose some matches, so I think they'll have
I
Ricochet
think,
win this match.
Velveteen has the Rock effect to him, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He could lose matches, but he can still be over.
Exactly.
So-
he's got such a good character and stuff. I think
Yeah.
they'll have Ricochet win the match because he's a vet and he has all those crazy moves. And I just don't, we saw it with what was it, Aleister Black faced him at one of the pay-per-views, and we all knew Aleister Black was going to win. So I think this is the same with Ricochet.
But I can see them possibly gaining respect for each other and
Well, Velveteen
possibly
Dream-
forming a tag team and going for the tag team.
Velveteen Dream has
championships.
a lot of heart. That's all I'm
interesting.
gonna say.
And that's an interesting prediction right there. From
Velveteen
the
Dream
Arcade
has a
Demon.
lot of heart,
Ricochet
man.
wins for me,
and-
though.
Yeah.
Velveteen Dream is the equivalent of CM Punk in the UFC. I'm just kidding.
Nah,
Right.
not even close.
Don't
bro.
compare.
He has a
man.
lot of heart, though. He has a lot of heart.
He
Yeah.
has an incredible.
Was
amount
that
of
as
heart.
bad as the RKJ Man's comparison between Enzo Amore and The Rock last
yeah.
I said from the
2 weeks ago?
verbal standpoint of The Rock and in terms of his mic skills.
I don't
Enzo
want to make
Amore.
Eric too mad, so we're not going to get into that conversation. Speaking of people getting mad at each other, the main event probably.
This
He's
should be
just
the main
giggling.
event.
He's just giggling.
I keep saying this. Your main event needs to be your
Let me
hottest
say
feud.
what it is before you say.
My bad. My bad.
Tommaso Ciampa versus Johnny Gargano in a street fight. Guys, who wins this match?
Johnny.
Tomasa.
I'm going Tommaso too.
1-1, even the feud with the final match being at NXT TakeOver
Absolutely.
Brooklyn.
Absolutely. I think that's totally gonna happen. And I was
Loser
even,
leaves NXT.
It has to be, right?
Well, yeah.
It has to be.
Make it to the big roster, huh?
Yeah. No. That's just the way it has to be. And if Gargano wins, that'd be very. I don't know. It'd be a little Roman Reignsy, to be honest. Like
Can you see a swerve happening here? I'm just saying.
you talk about. What do you mean swerve?
I'm saying a lot of people have been bringing this up. What if Candice LeRae in storyline turns on Johnny Gargano and aligns herself with Tommaso
That would
Ciampa?
spice. That would definitely spice some things.
In real
up,
life,
you know?
Candice LeRae and Johnny Gargano, everybody knows
That would
this.
keep kayfabe alive.
They're
guys.
married. They're married. And they're happily married. But this isn't real life. This is kayfabe. So
I can see that
Could it
happening.
happen?
I think
Possibly. To add
they
a
could
little
do
bit
it.
more attention to the feud. Because Candice LeRae says, hey, this is dangerous. But allegedly,
It would be
Candice LeRae
considered-
said,
You talking about a little low blow in this match or something like that?
yeah, I mean, well, we've seen it all the time. We see
This
it
could be
happen.
considered as probably one of NXT's best feuds if they were to do that.
Oh, I think it has to be right. It's one of the longest.
Kevin
that's lasted.
Owens and Sami Zayn. too.
That's also
I
another
think
one.
this is better though.
Finn
I think
Balor,
this
It is
more
better.
personal.
Joe.
And it's
yeah.
more modern too. The way they're using social media to kind of blur the lines of reality, it's fantastic. Wrestling always thrives on stuff that you don't know if it's real or not. And, there's ways you can use social media and there's ways you don't use social media, Corey Graves. And they're using social media the way you should use it because
Smart.
they're using social media to build up a feud, to build up anticipation. That way, when they get to their matches, there's a little bit more and they can relate it. Like Candice LeRae was going to hit Tommaso Ciampa, and Tommaso Ciampa went on Twitter and says, hey, I know everybody's concerned about this women's revolution, this Me Too movement and all this stuff, but look at me. I'm a man. Do you honestly think Candice LeRae has a shot in a real fight with me? And he shows this blazing six-pack
I
on
love
his
that.
freaking...
I absolutely
That's
That's
love
a
that.
heel right
That's
there.
awesome,
He may
man.
be a Triple H. He may be the Triple H of NXT. He may be the next Triple H type of big heel character if they build him up the right way.
The problem is he's kind of small though. It's kind of hard to be a really good heel character if you're not somewhat big. And I would consider Ciampa a cruiserweight in a way.
How tall is he? What's his weight? and
Well,
height?
it's not big. I can tell you, Sami Zayn's probably bigger than him.
He was in the 205, the Cruiserweight Classic.
200 pounds.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
What-
5'11", 200, and he's from Milwaukee. Not that means anything, but
man, that's really tough.
Yeah.
It's really tough, but I still think he can do well. It's just I hate when guys from the NXT go up to the main roster because they get squandered and they just like the revival.
That's my biggest fear right
like
there.
the
you know?
revival
Revival.
guy.
Yeah.
They're just
Hey,
getting
where did the Authors of Pain go?
high. I mean,
Yeah, what happened?
They dropped their manager on the first night in just the most awkward segment ever.
Is I don't know. It's interesting, but nonetheless, okay. So we got
No faith in
us
dude.
two have Gargano and Ciampa winning this match, the RKJ man and myself, and then Tommaso Ciampa, or excuse me, Johnny Gargano, Eric, you have winning this match. So that's NXT Takeover in Chicago. Let's switch it up. Eric's indie update is right now.
Wow, switching from NXT and all the way to
Get a little indie feel. NXT always gives me
Yeah.
that indie feel, so it's a nice little transition.
Definitely. All right, so let's run through Ring of Honor because all I gotta say is this: stand back. There's a hurricane coming through.
Oh my goodness gracious!
Sounds like Shane Helms.
Hurricane. He will be at the Ring of Honor show Friday, June 15th, and he will also be teaming up with Delirious to take on The Addiction with Christopher Daniels and Kazarian.
Interesting.
So Hurricane, good luck out there. He's definitely going to be doing some good stuff for himself over in Ring of Honor. Shout outs to the Hurricane, who's been giving a lot of trouble to The Rock back in the day, back in 2003. Good times. Yeah.
The Hamburglar.
The Hamburglar. You know.
He's still a chicken McNuggets.
I remember that. And over Lucha Underground is this week, Wednesday, 8 p.m.
When is it dropping on Netflix?
As soon as this show is about to start on Wednesday. That's when they're going to drop it on Netflix. That's
Are
what
you
they
kidding
do.
me?
I'm pretty sure they're going to do that.
All right, well, I'll just binge watch it all on Wednesday night going into
There you
Thursday.
go.
There you go, man. There you go. Over in New Japan Wrestling, Kenny Omega becomes the IWGP Heavyweight Champion by defeating Okada. This was a long time coming for Kenny Omega to him becoming the IWGP Champion. He's been wanting to become the champion over for New Japan. And also, we have a new IWGP
Great.
Intercontinental Champion.
Yes.
His name is Y2J, Chris Jericho.
That man is how you should be as a wrestler, and honestly, how you should be in life. Just do your own thing whenever
Yeah,
you
who
do.
would have thought he would have won a title in New Japan Pro
Well,
Wrestling?
he kept his word.
Crazy.
He kept his word. He
Yeah.
said that he was going to become Intercontinental IWGP champion, and he did.
I heard some people are counting this as a 10th Intercontinental Championship because he has 9, I think, in the WWE. So they're counting it as a 10th.
Yeah,
but it doesn't
sorry,
count.
it's
Sorry,
not.
It doesn't count
It's
that
not.
way.
I
Yeah,
know,
it's
yeah.
not. WWE is different.
Somebody mentioned that on their podcast. It was like, yeah, and I was like, no, it's not.
No, it's not even close. But
Congrats
yes.
to both of them. And there was a picture of Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho with both their titles just posing together. And also there was over in the lower card for the New Japan Wrestling, Rey Mysterio teamed up with Jushin Thunder Liger and Tanahashi, but they lost to
What?
Cody, Hangman Page, and Marty Scurelli. Yep.
Great match.
Putting the Bullet Club over.
Yeah, pulling the Bullet Club over, man. It's definitely that was one hell of a show that they did. No word as of late with the NWA. Right now, they're still building it up with All In. There's only one one match confirmed for All In. That's Cody versus Nick Aldis. That's if Cody can win the Ring of Honor title in order to put both titles on the line.
There's only one match confirmed?
Yeah, there's only one match confirmed.
There has
as
to
of
be.
right-
It
has
is
to be a
September. Like we
super
said,
show.
though, it is September, though.
It has to be a WrestleMania for the independent, so they have to have
Yeah,
about.
but
10
the main event is
10
definitely.
matches.
But the main event is definitely Cody versus Nick Aldis for the NWA Championship, and if Cody could win the Ring of Honor title,
Yeah, which
and
I think
put
he
it on the-
probably should, right?
put it on the line,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
you got to
think-
make that. You got to make your matches in the independents as big as possible.
Just do good business, bro.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that concludes.
Don't be Bret Hart.
Yeah, and that concludes the indie segment. So a lot of good stuff coming.
Yeah, that was a lot
this
of good
week.
information. A lot of big news. Kenny Omega, Chris Jericho winning titles.
Oh yeah, definitely, man.
So
shout outs
very
to both.
interesting.
Shout outs to Y2J and
Yes.
Kenny Omega, the cleaner.
break down the walls. Okay, so guys, we got a big pay-per-view this weekend. Money in the Bank. Okay, and they're building this thing up to be a pretty good pay-per-view. There's 10 matches on the card right now. What were there, 14 at WrestleMania? Right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they're building a lot of
So
matches.
is it going to
for-
be as long as WrestleMania? I hope not.
Well, no, I mean,
Jesus.
I don't think that'd
No,
be
they
kind
won't
of
do that.
ridiculous. then WrestleMania would be like 10 hours next year.
I can't do that.
And
I
not,
can't do that.
And not on Fox.
Even if
So-
we attended it live, we would just.
I would have to
energy.
leave. I
No
would have to
energy.
leave. I'd be like, I'm sorry, I can't do it.
That's why you just keep drinking so you don't leave. That's the thing to do.
Not even not even all the alcohol in the world can keep me that sober or keep me that turned up long enough. 10-hour show, bro.
Yeah, that is it would be pretty crazy, but that's not happening. So there's no reason to talk about that. But Money in the Bank, some of the big matches. Obviously, you have the 2 Money in the Bank ladder matches. 8 men vying for a world championship contract and 8 women vying for a women's championship contract. No specific one.
On the respective brands.
Yeah, well, 4 each from each brand. 4 people from each brand on both of those ladder matches. So it's as even as it gets. And we will predict those at the end. Obviously, AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura probably ending their feud.
I'm hearing rumors that thing is going to go up to SummerSlam.
Oof, crazy. Well, that would mean Nakamura would have to win that match, though. But let's predict in a second. Last man standing, AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura, WWE Championship, Paige said on SmackDown, there's going to be a winner. So we can guarantee that. Nia Jax.
Last
Nia
man
Jax
standing.
Said that the one time before and it ended in controversy.
Nia Jax versus Ronda Rousey. Singles match for the Raw Women's. I have no idea what the hell's going to happen in
really
that match.
difficult to
Yeah.
predict.
And then a host of, we also have Carmella versus Asuka, SmackDown Women's Championship. So those are the 6 kind of, I would say, main event matches.
Well, you got Daniel Bryan
involved.
versus Big Cass.
That's not a main event match.
What about Seth Rollins versus Elias?
That's not a main event match. The Intercontinental Championship is not a main event match.
Well, he's
That's why I
turning
said
he's turning it into a main event title, man, with his matches. His work rate has been fantastic.
they'll probably start the show.
Yeah,
So,
Seth Rollins
yeah.
is a
They'll
hot
pro- yeah,
open.
absolutely.
Everybody
But,
loves to chant "Burn It Down" at the beginning of a show.
So yes, and then, since we're talking about lower card, you have Roman Reigns versus Jinder Mahal, the Bludgeon Brothers versus Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, SmackDown Tag Team Championships, Bobby Lashley versus Sami Zayn, Seth Rollins versus Elias, and Daniel Bryan versus Big Cass. I thought they did announce that there was going to be a Raw Tag Team Championship match with the B Team, but I guess that'll probably just happen some other
B
time.
Team.
on the pre-show,
Well, no, it's not even on.
But they're
it's
getting
not even on the
over.
card.
they got
The B
Tim-
team, but the B team is getting over.
They got a
right?
cool theme song, and they're charismatic as hell. They're very charismatic. So shout outs to them.
Yeah, they're so bad. I just heard Eric drink that sip of water. That was hilarious.
And yeah, I can hear you fidgeting with your freaking headphones when you're fidgeting.
But
Like I said, this microphone picks up everything.
Everything.
Yes. Okay, so what do we want to start with as far as talking about stuff on this card? Because there is a lot to get through. I don't want to talk too much about the lower card matches just because I think we'll be able to talk about this for like an hour.
I think there's a
So
lot
let's
of
just kind of jump into some of the main event matches.
there's a lot of potential for storyline continuity going into the summer and the SummerSlam. This is the pay-per-view that jumps off for SummerSlam, and I think a lot of the matches should be intertwined with storylines. For example, Daniel Bryan and Big Cass, you got to have The Miz somewhere in it. So The Miz needs to win the Money in the Bank contract, and he needs to be
I said
revealed.
we were going to predict.
Okay.
in a second.
I
I said we're going to predict in a second. So just what match do you want to talk about? Not which 3 matches do you want to talk about?
Let's talk about AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura.
Okay, that's
first.
a good start. That's
Last
a good
man
start.
standing match?
Absolutely. So I think Shinsuke's got to win this match if they want to keep the feud going.
He has to win the title
did,
eventually.
He does have to win the title. He's a good heel right now.
Unless both of them are getting counted out, you know.
I mean, that'd
count
be severely disappointing, especially if that's the main event. of
You
the
can't do
card.
anything stupid in Chicago, man, because they will boo the living hell out
And
of you.
they'll keep chanting
And-
CM Punk.
And they'll keep chanting CM Punk. So those wrestlers better be prepared to fight through
Man,
CM Punk
but okay,
chants.
honestly, this has nothing to do with this pay-per-view. But if Punk would have won, can you imagine those chants this weekend in Chicago? If Punk actually would have won his UFC fight,
Yeah.
yeah,
It
but,
would
he,
have
but he
erupted.
did, and he got his
Yeah.
ass kicked. So we're, but that would have been really cool. I like
know,
when
I
cool things
know.
would happen,
Yeah.
but. Nonetheless, we got to be disappointed. But yeah, so Nakamura probably has to win this match. This storyline's been going on for a while, ever since WrestleMania or even before WrestleMania.
Before WrestleMania.
Really since the Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Royal Rumble. So yeah, interesting. I would be very surprised if AJ Styles won this match myself. But if they obviously want to end the feud and maybe have AJ Styles face somebody else going into SummerSlam, maybe you have a cash in or something like that at this point for this match, because that could happen depending on where the Money in the Bank ladder match is placed on the card. But so it could go either way, but I'm gonna go Nakamura. I think they want that SummerSlam match like you mentioned, and I think they'll go Nakamura wins the title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eric? Oh,
Yeah.
you guys all agree? Wow.
Yeah, we
that
all
was good
agree.
enough. See, that's what I'm talking about,
because-
man.
yeah,
I say
it's
good stuff on this
predictable,
podcast
dude.
sometimes.
It's predictable. I mean, the match, I'm pretty sure it's going to deliver. It's just this feud has been going on for quite a while now, ever since
Yeah.
WrestleMania.
It's almost
So
like I want it to be over, but then if Nakamura wins, I kind of don't want. Like, what's the end game of SummerSlam?
Yeah,
Their
An I-
matches
an
have
I
been
quit
getting
match, or-
slowly better, though.
They have. That's true. They've been building this. What we thought was going to be kind of a weird build, it has built up pretty well.
I'm just disappointed that the ultimate culmination didn't happen at WrestleMania. They could
I
have started this
know.
a little bit earlier. They could have started at last year's Money in the Bank.
Maybe they could go all the way to the next. No, I'm just
well, do you
kidding.
think it also could be
no.
the? Do you think it could be also
ridiculous?
the fact that?
That's ridiculous.
Do you think it could be also the fact that the match felt long and also WrestleMania was too long, and by
Yeah.
the time we were, we got into
I think
the match,
that's exactly what
we
happened,
were
yeah.
very sort of drained out, or we're just can
It
we
wouldn't
get
have been
rolling?
that way if it was the main event. If it was the main event, because it would have gone after Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar, and it would have made the crowd kind of hyped up to see an actual good match.
But you know how WWE is stubborn to keep Roman and Brock Lesnar.
Oh,
as
of
the main
course,
event. Yeah,
of
so
course, yeah.
definitely.
So if
Jesus,
they
please,
screwed
God,
up.
don't let the main event SummerSlam. Lord Jesus, please don't let
dude,
them.
they're gonna
Seth
be-
Rollins
please.
and Brock Lesnar, please. I want to see that match so bad.
Or Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar.
Bobby Lashley
No,
too, but
they're
I,
destroying Bobby Lashley's character, bro. They're destroying the man's character. Like, he's not a talker, and you're forcing this man to talk.
he's too nice.
Soft spoken,
But he does look great.
Yeah.
Okay,
He looks
one
fantastic.
man
He's in
to
great shape,
another.
yeah.
That's the best looking guy in WWE, physique wise.
No, Finn Balor.
Seth Rollins.
That's not true. Bobby Lashley's bigger and looks better.
Wow,
Just saying.
you really like Bobby Lashley, don't you?
I think
Nick?
Bobby Lashley's a
Dude,
beast.
he's
Me and my brother, every single time he comes out, we're just like admiring him. We're like, oh my gosh, this guy's
Wow.
huge.
Would you like to
getting a
date him, Nick? Would you like to slide in his DMs?
I think I'm gonna do it tonight.
I think the man's single, so I mean, he's available.
man, this is getting weird.
There's no way he's single.
Pride weekend
okay?
was this past weekend.
Oh man,
Feel free to leave in the comments on YouTube and SoundCloud on who's hot. Finn Balor, Seth Rollins, Bobby Lashley,
Roderick
Brock
Strong,
Lesnar,
or
Roderick
me.
Strong. Feel free.
but yeah, nonetheless, so that turned real weird in a second. But
Yeah.
so we expect Shinsuke Nakamura to win that match. All right. Let's go with Nia Jax versus Ronda
can't pick
Rousey.
this one, man.
This is hard. See, this is good though, because I remember the RKJ Man and I had a conversation on the phone about how this match would perceive to be. The RKJ Man didn't think it should have happened this early. I thought it's a good, if she's the best wrestler for the women, she should get a title shot.
She's
now
not
we
the
don't
best
know.
wrestler. She's the most known, most mainstream.
Most known and okay,
In pop
that's
culture.
very good point. Very good point. Exactly, and she's going into the UFC Hall
And
of Fame. By the
they
way.
probably knew that she was going into the UFC Hall of Fame, which is one of the reasons why they made this match.
Could, yeah, absolutely, absolutely, and that's a cool
Or
thing.
unless they
too.
got big
That's
plans for her
That would
the
be a
future.
cool thing for them to do, considering I don't really think they have a real rivalry with UFC, but that'd be a pretty cool thing if they did, and still kind of we're like, here, we'll up Rousey for you guys going into the thing. So
who's winning?
I don't know.
I'm more and more
Maybe this
getting
is a cash in.
I'm more.
Maybe
yeah,
this is a cash in. Maybe Rousey wins and gets cashed in on.
by Natalia. That is
Betrayal.
the biggest rumor that I'm hearing.
Oh,
is
man.
that Natalia's gonna win the
That's
women's
good.
Money in the Bank, and on that night, as soon as Ronda Rousey wins against Nia
a crazy
Jax,
scenario, but
everybody's thinking
it's
Ronda
believable.
Rousey is going to show up at the UFC Hall of Fame with the WWE Women's Championship. Natalia comes in and steals her thunder.
That's awesome. And Natalia is a great worker too.
What a great way to do
So-
business.
Yeah, I like that though. I like that because I don't see this match ending in just like a pinfall or something.
And what if Nia Jax, because they had the storyline where apparently Natalia was injured by Nia Jax. What about if it was some type of collusion between Nia Jax
Could
and
be.
Natalia to keep, if I don't keep the championship, you've got to beat her for the championship because we can't let this female MMA star come into our business and try to beat us.
Exactly.
Right.
No, I agree. Yeah, that's very interesting. But nonetheless, so Eric, do you think anything else happens in this match? Do you think it's
That scenario that you
Ryan
gave.
or excuse me, the
Ryan?
RKJ Man kind of came up with a pretty good scenario. I don't really want to disagree.
It's crazy, but at the same time, it's believable.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to go with maybe Nia. She's going to retain her title.
What happens though? You're just saying straight up?
I think what happens is that she's probably going to get herself disqualified. And
What about it?
Okay, that
go
could
full
happen.
on
Okay,
heel.
that could happen.
Go
I
on
can see that
full on
happening too.
heel from there. maybe
I
use a
think she
chair.
should turn heel.
She's turning into the Big Show. She flip flops between face and heel so many times. I don't know what she is.
Big Show's an interesting comparison.
Well,
It's just an interesting comparison.
No.
There are other guys.
They're not coming
There are
after
other
me on
guys
social
that
media.
that's flip flop their gimmicks, but you had to say the Big Show. He said it.
Because
He
Big
said-
Show seemed like he
Not
changed
me.
every 5 minutes. Him and Kane.
Maybe. I think Kane was a heel, but nonetheless, it's just interesting. I just wanted to say that there's a little interesting little comparison there. But so I had an interesting take from that, Eric. I think you just agree with Rousey, but yeah, I think she could also get disqualified.
I
as
mean,
well.
I'm pretty sure they got big plans for her during SummerSlam, but for Money in the Bank, I know they want to protect her as much as they can. So they're going to have to keep the title on Nia Jax.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure she's going to get herself, of course, maybe she might do maybe use a chair or get herself counted out, or one of those two get it counted out.
Yeah.
And we'll probably see a rematch at SummerSlam, but it's probably going to involve Natalya.
Is SummerSlam the next pay per view though? It
No,
can't
it's
be.
Extreme Rules in
Oh,
July.
okay.
And
But-
then after that is SummerSlam.
But I don't think, I'm not sure what
That's
kind
a
of,
way to give Rousey the title too, though.
Yeah,
to
and
give
I
it to her
don't
at
think
Extreme Rules.
I don't think that Ronda's going to participate in Extreme Rules. I don't think so.
So what's the big main event match at SummerSlam for Ronda Rousey then?
So
Rousey
if,
versus Natalya? I really didn't want that. I wanted Rousey versus Asuka.
Well, they're on different brands, so it's
Doesn't
not gonna
matter.
happen.
I know.
Do a
Well,
cross
unless they-
promotion.
Why would that happen though?
I mean, they're all on the same show now anyway.
Or
You can
unless-
just easily say Asuka challenges Ronda Rousey.
But why, if Asuka's challenging Carmella, would that even happen?
Because we know Carmella's going to fluke win.
unless the WWE,
Come on, bro.
unless WWE goes to some sort of award show or some sort of ceremony, and then they have the women's wrestling wrestlers there, and then Asuka's there and Rousey's there, and then they call out each other during that ceremony or that whatever award show that's coming up.
That's an interesting
just like-
little
freaking
plot you
Team
have right
Choice.
there.
just
Teen
like
Choice
what Nia,
Award?
just like what Nia
exactly.
Jax did. So I wouldn't be surprised if they would do that the next time.
We'll see. But yeah, so we kind of have differentiating opinions about this Ronda Rousey Nia Jax match. We'll see what happens.
It's complicated
I am interested to
to
see
me.
that because I really don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we get into the Money in the Bank ladder matches, let's kind of go over the rest of the matches on the card and just kind of predict them. So Carmella versus Asuka, Women's Championship. What do you
Carmella's going to win in a fluke finish, either no disqualification or she's going to roll her up.
I think so too, because they've been kind of billing Asuka as a loser now, in a way.
And this is why I think this is her losing streak before she says, hey, I need to take on the top dog in all of the WWE.
And they're going to turn Asuka heel, right?
Either you're facing Charlotte at SummerSlam or you're facing Rousey. I think Rousey first needs to face Asuka.
You could have that Charlotte rematch, though, in a way, from the WrestleMania match.
No, I think there's money in a Charlotte-Becky Lynch feud during the fall. I think there's money if Becky Lynch turns heel against Charlotte and Becky Lynch wins the run. Becky Lynch goes on to face Asuka at next year's WrestleMania. Charlotte wins the Women's Royal Rumble and challenges Rousey for the main event for the Raw Women's Championship in next year's WrestleMania.
And there's Erica J. Man looking ahead again.
That's what
Gotta
I
stop
do,
doing
man.
that,
Until
man.
9 months from now
That's what I do, man.
at WrestleMania. But nonetheless, I knew you were going to do that too.
Storyline continuity, bro.
Eric, what do you think happens in this match?
Charlotte.
No, Carmella versus Asuka.
Oh, sorry. I know they want to keep that belt on Carmella, so I'm going to go with Carmella on this one.
Safe choice.
Yeah,
But also, I feel
wanna-
like I keep saying this too, but there also could be a cash in this one.
They
because
wanna-
it-
they wanna
It'd be
build-
interesting if sorry to interrupt, but it would be interesting if Carmella got cashed in on since she cashed in on somebody else.
They want to build Carmella as this person who defeated Charlotte, who wants to claim to herself that she beat Asuka, who at one time Asuka was a dangerous competitor, and then they want to credit her as being like the next, I don't know, maybe career killer, or maybe some woman who completely just dominates or wins by flukish, but for some reason Carmella wants to take credit for defeating all these, legit athletes or some of these tough competitors.
I don't know if I've seen that before, but it makes sense. You're trying to get this heel that clearly can't wrestle that much. She's beating these like superstars in fluky fashion. And then like Miz does this a lot too.
This happens a lot.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
so It's
a
you know,
lot.
it's whatever.
They
It's
can't wrestle, and they beat him.
it's better than having Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar in the match. I'll tell you that. So
Speaking of Roman Reigns,
Roman Reigns, exactly. So Roman Reigns versus Jinder Mahal.
Jesus.
What do we think happens in this? This build actually hasn't been that bad. They've been kind of beating the crap out of each other like every week.
I hope both of them just disappear from television.
Oh, you
forever.
can't hinder
Oh,
Jinder
man.
like that, man. You can hinder Roman
Look,
like that.
man,
You cannot
I like
hinder
Jinder.
Jinder.
I actually like Jinder.
I like Jinder
Stop
Mahal
stealing
too.
that heel kid on Instagram thing.
Do not hinder Jinder. Heel kid, just like all the Chinese people, can come in the studio and beat me up.
Nick's starting to feud with Asians today.
Sorry, Asians. Yeah, all Asians. I'm not excluding any Asians from the fight that we're gonna have in here, but that whoever the hell that kid is from Twitter too. He
He's
can
a
come
cool
in here.
dude.
And Corey Graves, you're coming to the studio too. right.
Oh man, Corey Graves, bro.
CM Punk, you're invited too. You want to come? Colby Covington, you're invited too.
Corey Graves, if you want to
Give
come on the
Ryan some crap.
podcast, if anybody who's in the WWE listens to this podcast, please let him know. Please let him know that the RKJ Man is available.
crap.
You can come in my DMs. You can come on the podcast.
You can
and
come in his DMs.
and we can
yeah.
talk that talk, bro. Because I think the way you're acting is ridiculous. Let's keep
calling
talking.
people
Eric, I
Alvin.
got to move this computer real quick.
Yeah.
How much would you love if Corey Graves actually showed up here and just tore apart Ryan in the studio?
It would
Like,
be
physically
a
or
very,
verbally?
No, verbally.
It would be a very, very, very interesting
He
conversation.
wouldn't tear me up verbally.
He wouldn't do it
I would
physically
come
because you
after-
could actually like ruin his life by like he has
Yeah.
his injuries.
Yeah. I would.
It's
I would-
it's almost like seeing that interview that Stephen A. Smith conducted when we were up
Watching
on your,
the finals,
Yeah,
yeah.
we were watching the finals.
In case you don't know, Nick's been with my family. I have a brother who has taught me how to get into a verbal confrontation with people and how to back my opinions up. So
Yes.
if that man comes into this studio or calls into the studio and has the audacity to try to back up his stupid comments on social media, I'm coming for you, bro.
SummerSlam,
Just
the
don't
RKJ
verbally.
Man versus
well,
Corey Graves.
well,
In a way that won't get me sued. Trust me.
he's probably just going to call you an nerd, or I
Yeah.
think that's
He
what
can
You're
do
an
whatever
introvert,
he wants to do, but he is a beta male. You know what? I'm
beta male bitch. I'll say it for you.
beta male.
I haven't
bitch.
said bitch enough on this podcast. I don't think I've said shit.
And
once
that's not
either.
even derogatory because that's what he's acting like on social media.
I mean, it's definitely tearing apart his character, but
It's not tearing apart his
it's tearing
character.
apart his character. You call him a beta male bitch.
Oh, he-
Exactly.
I'm pretty
I
sure
don't
he's a
care.
beta male
I do not
idiot.
care.
How
But-
about that?
So what happens
How about
between
that? So I
Roman
don't get
Reigns and
sued.
Jinder Mahal?
Allegedly a beta male idiot.
So what happens between Roman Reigns
about
and
that?
Jinder Mahal?
Jinder Mahal wins fluky fashion.
I think Roman Reigns wins. I don't think Mahal will win.
Whether I like it or not, I'm pretty sure Roman Reigns is going to win because they want to keep Jinder Mahal as the heel, and they want to keep Roman Reigns as the
Yeah.
baby face guy.
Boo-hoo.
Whether we like it or not, they're still going to go through their stubborn ways and keep and protect Roman Reigns as possible.
All right, next match: SmackDown Tag Team Championships, Bludgeon Brothers versus Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson.
Have they done even any build up for this?
a little bit? They had a match on SmackDown last week, but
Good lord.
and they had Carl Anderson sneak pin Luke Harper in the match too.
And also they did some weird little promo with the Bludgeon Brothers.
Yeah, I still think the Bludgeon Brothers will bludgeon them and just win.
Yeah,
I think they're trying to build up these guys.
I really want to see the mallets come out in this match, and I really want to see them hit people with mallets. I'm really wanting to see an Xavier Woods on like
So what
Carl
you?
Anderson.
So wait,
that's
wait.
what I need to see.
So what are you trying to tell me that you want to see a live killing on television? Or a killing on live television? Sorry, I screwed up a little bit. There.
Hold on.
I-
you want
I-
to see killing on live television?
Yeah, I got the bludgeon. Well, we saw that in Game 4 of the finals, but nonetheless,
Yeah.
That felt like a few. Hey, I called Game 4. Remember?
he
right?
did. I know, gave him
Yes,
credit
he
on the
did.
other show.
He did.
But
Felt like a
okay,
funeral.
so we all have Bludgeon Brothers, correct?
For LeBron and Cleveland.
We all think the Bludgeon Brothers.
Sure.
Do we all think the Bludgeon Brothers are winning this
Yes,
match?
yes,
Yes,
the Bludgeon
yes,
Brothers
okay,
are
yes.
winning.
Bobby
Can we
Lashley
please get
versus
on?
Sami Zayn.
Bobby Lashley.
Bobby Lashley, agree.
That's
Seth,
an intra nerd.
Seth Rollins versus Elias.
Seth Rollins.
Seth Rollins. Seth freaking Rollins.
I love
He's building
Elias,
him up.
That's right. This
yeah.
will be a good match. I hope it starts the show, but I think Seth Rollins wins too. And finally, Daniel Bryan versus Big Cass.
I'm usually always amped up for Daniel Bryan matches, but I'm not amped up to see him against Big Cass
That's a
yet
mid card
again.
match. Yeah.
I think Big Cass is going to win some way, somehow, because Daniel Bryan got the win first. So Big Cass, just by logic, has to get this win. But hopefully we get some storyline continuity with him and The Miz, and we are getting set up for Daniel Bryan and The Miz at SummerSlam.
I think that Daniel Bryan will actually win this match because I think they'll just want to finish this feud
And
to
get him
start
onto The
that
Miz?
stuff. Yeah. I don't think Big Cass will get the win here, but so I'm going Daniel Bryan. What about you, Eric?
Daniel Bryan.
Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
What for though?
Daniel Bryan might make him tap. I
Okay,
think
so
so.
you're saying he makes him tap, ultimately just kind of ends the feud, goes, I'm clearly better
Well,
than
I
you.
think Big Cass is still going to go after him, but he's going to align himself with the Miz. That's for sure.
He
That's
has
the future.
to.
So you're saying this, he's saying the same thing, but okay. So Money in the Bank ladder matches.
This is going to be
This is interesting. There's a lot of different outcomes that could happen in
and
both
a
these
lot
matches,
of
which is
different
good.
ways you can go for
Yeah.
the summer.
Whew.
This is huge.
What the hell is going to happen? And who's the, first of all, who do we think out of the New Days could fight?
I think Big E.
You
I
think
think
Big
the
E?
WWE looks at, in terms of the New Day, who is that person that we can push from the New Day? I've heard reports, and I've just looked at the way they view him. It's Big E. They always seem
Big
to
E
protect
Langston?
him in those matches. He never really truly gets the pin. It's either Kofi or Xavier.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. I think Big E, a long shot here, could win the Money in the Bank ladder match and turn on the rest of the other two guys.
I would
from
love
New Day.
that.
Yeah,
I would love some type of dissension, and that leads to their
exactly.
breakup.
Well, and then you don't have to
Tired of seeing the
guarantee.
New Day?
I'm
exactly.
tired of it.
But I also like when they kind of build up a Money in the Bank ladder match guy. Not right away. He's cashing in like within a month. So that would be a way to continue like a New Day feud with him with the Money in the Bank ladder match. So you really don't know when he's ever going to cash it in. So I could see that happening, but we're already predicting and stuff like that too. But nonetheless, so let's go women's first because I think we're a little more hyped for the men's. Women's match. Who wins, guys? What happens?
Natalia. And the reason why it's
Because
Natalia
the
is
Ronda
because
Rousey
of
thing.
what we said, the
Okay.
Ronda Rousey situation.
That makes sense. We kind of explained that too, so we don't have to get into that as much. Eric, who do you think wins?
I want to say Natalia, but I know they want to keep Alexa Bliss that heel role, so I think she might win by the help of Mickey James.
Interesting.
So I think maybe you get Alexa Bliss to win in an upset victory, and she might cash it in.
I'm tired of Mickey James just being used as filler. I really am. Like she's
What do
Alexa
you want her to
Bliss,
be? The women's champion?
I just want her to be in some type of storyline or feud. That's what it seems like. This women's revolution, Me Too movement, whatever the BS we're talking about, is all about. Let's put them in 6 to 8 women tag team matches, and we'll have 1 or 2 big feuds, and that's it. Like that's all it is.
That's why they need a women's tag team title.
No, they don't need a women's
Then what's
tag
your
team title.
what is your solution though?
Have every woman have a unique storyline.
There's not
according
enough
to
time on
them.
TV to do all that stuff.
Yes,
though.
there is.
There's not.
If you can't use TV, use freaking social media. Use the internet. By the way, I know this is getting backtracking, but Daniel Bryan absolutely eviscerated Big Cass in a promo
It's pretty good.
on the internet, and it was freaking fantastic. Go look it up if you haven't seen it. It's amazing. And I'm pissed that it wasn't on the main show, but they probably didn't want to do it because they didn't want to bury the man on the main show.
So that was very good. I saw it. You sent that to me. Here are my thoughts on this. I could see 3 different people winning. Okay. I could see Becky Lynch winning because she's kind of been under the radar a little bit. And that you see guys win the match a lot of times when they're a little under the radar. She hasn't been in the spotlight a long time. I could see Lana win this match.
Cool.
What the heck?
But because
By the help
they
of
could do
Aiden
the,
English?
they could do the Rusev Lana thing with both of them as the Money in the Bank ladder match people. I'm just saying. And you also could possibly see a person like Naomi win, but she won the Battle Royal at WrestleMania. So that might have been a reason why they built her up too.
I don't think she's a big enough character.
If I had to predict and I had to put money on it, I'm going Becky Lynch. But I'm just saying those 2 other ways, possibly, and of course the Natalia route too. But I didn't want to steal your thunder on that one. So I'm going to go with Becky Lynch. So Eric, you got Alexa Bliss.
Yep.
I got Becky Lynch. RKJ Man has Natalia.
Natalia.
All right, the men's Money in the Bank, and then we'll finish up the show. Who do we think wins this one? I honestly think anybody can win. Like seriously.
This is a really,
I have to think about this a
really
lot.
tough
Which
one
is
a lot
great.
of
for me.
good
Which is great for
contestants,
WWE that they've made this much of parity in this match.
So unpredictable.
Yeah.
4. Do we want to go for 3 choices of who's gonna win?
I mean,
unless
unless one of us has a clear thing that could happen, like the Natalia thing,
The
we'll do
Miz
that. We have
winning-
one thing.
The Miz winning the Money in the Bank ladder match. He cashes in on AJ Styles later on in the summer. Daniel Bryan wins a number 1 contenders match,
Here he goes again.
and you get
Then they end up
finally.
at
Crazy
WrestleMania.
scenario.
No. This is
Finally
at
get it.
SummerSlam, bro. Daniel Bryan and the Miz with the payoff at SummerSlam, but Daniel doesn't win the title. He doesn't win the title. It's a disqualification or some sort.
Well, I mean,
Miz
we're not
loses.
predicting SummerSlam, so just
I'm just saying.
I'm
I'm just saying. You've got to find a way. I want to tie in everything.
I know.
In a show, I like
But
to
if,
tie
I
up loose ends,
I
bro.
can't talk about something that hasn't happened yet.
I get it,
So, yeah.
but I like to think ahead in my life.
I got you.
But
We
too far
definitely
ahead.
know that. Yes, but okay, you said 3 people. So who else do you think could win?
Braun Strowman,
Ooh.
and give me Big E.
Okay, interesting. What about you, Eric?
So give me Biggie, and I'm gonna give you probably Samoa Joe.
Oh man, I would really love to see Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
This should definitely upgrade his career. This would definitely help him out as
I agree.
him being
He needs it.
He needs it. I love Joe to death, and I think he's been like wandering here and there all over the place,
Floundering.
and at least like I think probably the biggest break that he got was when he came to the roster and attacked Seth Rollins.
That was huge. Yeah.
Yeah, a couple nights before WrestleMania, and he's been floundering here and there, but now I think it's his time. I think it's his time to get that Money in the Bank briefcase and either cash it in that night or cash it in maybe SummerSlam.
Interesting. So it sounds like you, Eric, kind of just think Samoa Joe's going to win.
Yeah, I'm rooting for
seems like
Samoa
you're
Joe,
behind
and I think he should win.
Okay.
He definitely should win.
My 3, like I mentioned, Big E. I came up with that scenario, so I'm going to stick with that one. I could see The Miz also winning this match.
As an upset,
Well, it's not really an upset if you win a ladder match because you just be at the right place at the right time.
or at
and
least
stuff like
if you
that.
have help. You know?
I mean, obviously, James Ellsworth going up at the last Money in the Bank and taking it off the thing and giving it to Carmelo
They
was
should restrict some rules on that,
interesting.
dude.
Yeah, I know, but it's hard. It's WWE. The less rules, the
There
better.
is no rules.
Yeah, there's no rules
in a ladder match.
That's why that during that match on Raw when Bayley just came into the match and pinned what's her name, they just let it happen, and I was like, what is even going on anymore in WWE? But
By the way, where is Bailey on this card? She is so irrelevant.
it's because she sucks on the mic and she's not entertaining.
Well, they
I will
effed
stick
her.
to this
She's
as
being real,
much.
dude.
They effed her up.
She's one of the most unentertaining women on the roster.
That's ridiculous.
She's boring.
They effed her up.
She's not even that good of a performer.
They effed up
But
her
we're not
booking.
getting into this. That's for another podcast. My third person that I think could win, like I mentioned a little bit earlier too, is Rusev. He's been over. They might want to do the thing with his wife. But I think it kind of for that one, it's if Lana wins, then I think Rusev wins. If Lana doesn't, then I think for sure he doesn't win. But I think if you want to do the husband and wife Money in the Bank ladder match duo thing, that would work out. But I could also see Kevin Owens winning because he's in bed with Stephanie McMahon. I could also see Samoa Joe
Not
winning
literally.
because it would be dope. I could also see Braun Strowman winning because he's
Thanks
a
for
beast.
that.
I could
I
also
just
see
threw up
I
in
could,
my mouth.
I could also see Finn Balor winning because he never
your
really
boys
got his fair title shot. So, and I could also see Bobby Roode winning because he's been under the radar.
How many times has Vince McMahon changed his mind for the Money in the Bank, both women's and men's contracts?
I don't know. It's
I lost
it's
count.
crazy. But so then, this is very unpredictable. And
Which is going to be the better show, NXT Takeover or Money in the Bank?
probably Money in the Bank.
I'm
The
gonna go with
NXT, the
TakeOver.
NXT takeover is just going to be the same thing. It
Takeover
always
will
is,
do
and I
their
think it will
best.
actually be a little bit less.
It's only 5 matches.
But as a fan of creativeness, I think the Money in the Bank ladder matches will top anything that happens at the NXT pay per view. I'm a WWE guy, so that's why Eric does the indie segment and I don't because I don't care about this.
Speaking as an indie guy, sort of, or,
Yeah.
Who does the indie updates whenever I do the show. NXT should definitely, they always deliver. They always know how to deliver. And I think as far as putting on solid matches, NXT will have this one. But as far as storylines will go, I think WWE Money in the Bank will have a good one.
If WWE wants to do themselves a favor, they should just make the NXT card not as good. Right? Because when they make it really good, it's hard, honestly, to watch 2 consecutive days of good wrestling.
I can't, personally.
Yeah. So it's almost like the
so-
NXT is, no matter what, going to be like detrimental to the WWE card the next week. Because
the next night. you
the
mean.
the next night.
And tonight's Monday Night Raw.
Yeah. So
As we speak, Monday Night Raw is happening.
yeah, 11 minutes in
Oh, yeah?
right now. So
turn on the TV
but
right now.
nonetheless, we should go home and watch that, and that means it's the end of the podcast. So good podcast today, guys. Obviously,
definitely.
UFC 225 was amazing.
Wild, man.
CM Punk finally getting back in the ring. It seems like his career is over.
Corey Graves.
Yeah,
Corey
Corey
Graves.
Graves now is going to be in the studio to beat up Ryan.
Legendary rant.
Allegedly.
By the Arcade
Legendary
J-Man.
rant. No, there's no allegedary. There's no allegedly. You can't just keep saying that to try to get yourself out of stuff.
Getting sued.
Yeah,
Enzo Amore?
No,
That's how
yeah.
you. That's how you get out of getting sued. You just say allegedly.
Enzo Amore,
Okay,
the
we'll
real
see if
one.
that works. But
We'll see if that works.
yeah, nonetheless, NXT is going to be great, and Money in the Bank will be great. I'm excited about those Money in the Bank ladder matches, like always. But guys, let's raise a glass in the sky and salute the ring generals.
Hold on. Raise a glass in the sky and salute the ring generals.